The Bombela Operating Company says its security contingent makes up a quarter of its total workforce. This is a security measure it had to take in order to ensure that Gautrain users are safe at all times. The measures include teams that work overnight to safeguard the infrastructure. But the company says while it has measures in place for the safety of the commuter inside Gautrain stations, but ensuring the same safety outside the stations is a worrying concern.
The issue for us is what happens outside of the stations, which we can only do so much. And that's our main concern. And that we try to deal with. We've got a lot of engagements with other stakeholders, SABC, security companies in the areas around which we are operating. We've got task teams that actually meet on a regular basis with our security team to look at what more needs to be done to support each other, to deal with some of the incidents that are happening outside that could still be impacting our passengers.
Kubheka says there's constant engagement with stakeholders to see what can be done with e-hailing. The service becomes the casualty when there's tensions between meter taxi drivers and e-hailing services. This results in drivers not wanting to pick up passengers from Gautrain stations and therefore posing danger to them.
It is a real issue. It's a current issue that we are dealing with. The least that we can do is to try and see how much we are able to extend the support of the guards that we have for our passengers. But beyond that, it really requires a complete kind of multifunctional team that can support with that. We are there to support, but there's a lot of help that is required from the police and overall security entities around the areas where we are operating.
The Gautrain service has often been criticized for being too expensive and exclusionary, particularly in a country where most people are unemployed or are in low-income households. Kubheka says their integrated model seeks to breach that gap.
When we talk about the Gautrain, we start moving beyond just about the train itself, but the integrated multimodal system that it is, because it does have more than just the trains. The train is the buses, is the midi buses. And we see the midi buses actually being quite affordable for a number of people. We've got the Marlborough station that seems to be the most busiest out of all of them. So I think that it's a balance as well, again, to say, affording, is it only for the working class? Can someone that is not employed use it? Maybe not the case, but what was the intention? And if you look at that intention, is it still balancing out the benefits of using the Gautrain system than getting on the car and using your own car or using 5 taxis to get to your destination? It still may work out to be less.
Kubheka says the service was hit hard by the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic, where most people lost jobs and others began to work from home. She says the service has since recovered to reasonable levels and passengers are mostly using the Gautrain because of the safety aspect, especially in a crime-ridden province. Diabose Tong, SABC News, Johannesburg.